What's going on, YouTube? Coming back at you with another video. Right out the gate, hit the like for me. I'm bringing you all this new paperwork from this Dark Low indictment. Now it has been revealed that Dark Low gave the feds a lengthy interview without having his lawyer present, which seems to me to be a huge mistake. The whole interview is recorded verbatim. Allegedly, that's what the feds say. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to show you everything. We're going to read all this. There's 24 pages of this interview. Check it out. So actually, let me go back up a little bit. I'm going to show you who's involved in this in the conversation. SA, that's Special Agent William Becker. And I'm not going to read their whole names anymore. I'm just going to go off the abbreviations. TFO, that's Task Force Officer William Schlosser. CS, that's Charles Sally, Dark Low. And then you have one UM, unidentified male, and one UF, unidentified female. So let's go through this interview. Okay, it says, TFO, this is Will. SA, Mr. Sally, how are you? Dark Low says, what's up, Will? SA, good to meet you. Dark Low says, you too, bro. SA, what can I call you? Dark Low says, whatever, and chuckles. They say, what do you like to be called? Low? TFO says, low. Charles Sally says, dark. TFO says, low. SA, low. And then Charles Sally says, yes. So then they say, Mr. Sally, occasionally, whatever. He said, it's all good. Overlapping voices. All right, yeah. I mean, how many times do you want in here? And then the other person says, we're good. Whatever you want to do, bud. TFO says, no. I'm just saying, I don't know. SA says, yeah. TFO says, yeah, I got you. It was just a black. What color iPhone do you have? Overlapping voices. Okay, I'm going to kind of just scroll through some of this because I'll let you just read it for yourself. There's nothing too interesting going on right here. They're just opening up this conversation. Okay, it says, all right, bro, I'm going to read you your rights, okay? Just so it's official. And I told you you're being recorded. We're all being recorded in the room. And then he says, TFO, after this, I'll flip it around and you can read it yourself just to be sure. I'm going to have you sign it, okay? So before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Okay, I'm going to skip this because they're just reading him his rights. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. There's a couple things we have to talk to you about. Yeah, so and then he says, like we were discussing earlier about the letters too, okay? And then Dark Low says, So we got to talk to you real quick about that. There's actually two things we kind of have to do. One of them is going to suck. So I don't know if they told you or not that we actually we got a warrant for a handwriting sample. He said, From you, they told you about that? Exactly how it is on that envelope. So are you wrote these letters, correct? He says, yeah. Okay, what was the point of writing the most recent one? I only wrote him one letter. Then they show a letter, apparently this one. Let me see. The one in the blue. This one, yeah. Oh, that's my little brother, and he was telling, so I had to give him a piece of my mind. They say, okay. Dark Low says, I ain't threatening him. Say I'm going to kill him or get somebody to kill him. Nothing. Put no type of threats in there. So Dark Low's claiming his innocence. He's saying he didn't threaten him. You see, like any threats in... Hold on, let me reread that. He said, you see, like any threats to anybody, but I mean, they say, yeah, I'm kind of going over it now. I chastise him like, yo, you a fucking rat. I didn't threaten him about nothing, no violence, no nothing. Didn't wish nothing on him. I told him be careful. TFO says, like I noticed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reference in there too as well. He said, oh, what I put in there? He said, you called him Master Splinter. Yeah, 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 that's what we call him, Master Splinter. All right, two things here, Will. Just that's for you if you want to give your boo number, title, and code. I don't know I don't know what they're talking about. You all right with the drinks? Do I need to get anything else? No, I'm good. So he's just asking him about wants anything. Okay. Obviously, Mr. Stewart's an important witness for us, and we're doing everything we can to protect him. He said, not the murderer. TFO laughs. He said, what's that? Oh, not the murderer. Not the murderer. He said, Low, you got any aliases other than Dark Low? He says, Ron Harvey. It's not really an alias, it's more of a nickname, but do you have any other names you've ever used in the past or arrested? He said, no. He said, yeah, it's all right, but when you say you're trying to protect him, it was no threats towards him at all. That's why and then when, hold on, my phone's about to die. Let me, when he gets a letter, he said, from, first of all, from Big Bro. It was addressed Ron Harvey. That's me. You know me as, he said, yeah. You know who he is. And then he said, who? Who Ron Harvey? Oh, yeah. Overlapping voices. Nothing major going on right here. Oh, CS Charles Sally, he says, it's one of my AKAs though. And then the agent says, right. Charles Sally says, everybody knows that. Agent says, but there's some stuff in there that got their attention. Like, I don't want you to get stabbed up. CS says, I don't, and start bleeding. He responds, I don't. He said, I get that, but I'm saying, CS chuckles. He says, I'm going to fuck up OV. Charles Sally says, your baby mom, your little ugly, dirty, gullible ass, just for you, my guy. Charles Sally says, yes, sir, I said that to him. I'm going to fuck his baby mom. I said that. I did. They said, you don't think that can be perceived a little bit as a threat? Me fucking his baby mom is a threat? I figured if someone is going to prison for a long time, you're not saying, I don't want you to get stabbed up. I don't want you to. He says, I don't. But yeah, I'm going to fuck your baby mom. Yeah. I'm going to be sitting in front row of the courtroom. Yeah. So they're going through this letter with him piece by piece. They're getting him to talk about it, which is not a good look for him at all. This is what you don't want to do. He said, watching you. So Dark Low says, allegedly, I am. It wasn't. It's like me talking to my little, y'all brothers, and he, right? You gonna tell him the same thing, man. Fuck you, man. Like, you gonna tell him, you gonna cuss him out? I'm just cussing my little brother. Well, my used to be little brother. I'm just cussing him out. The agent says, yeah. He said, I ain't like, so you're my, get this. Hold on, let me backtrack. Sometimes it's hard to read this just the way that they wrote it. He said, I ain't like, so you're on my, get this dude to stab you, none of that. I'm just cussing him out. He was really under my arm. He hurt me. Well, you were saying too, huh? He said, Then they said, I forgot about this. Will, he mentioned it in the car. If you want to talk about it again. He said, That basically what Lowe told me was he was pretty much the one who introduced Taz to these guys. Dark Low apparently said, yeah. So that, he's a Frankfurt guy who really had no connection to them. He said, right. And that's a fact. Taz is in with these guys. Was actually through him, so he left. Yeah. Like, he was kind of betraying him that's a fact. You said, you had also mentioned you were talking to him about not going around when you weren't there also. I told him, don't cuz he used to hang with my little brother and my little cousins. I used to have him on my block on Darien Street. He said, Let me keep reading. When he first came home, until I think he came home in 2010, he was homeless, but I knew him from jail and Houtsdale, so I took him under my wing, let him come. He just started being around every single day. He's like my brother, my little brother. Do anything I say. He was hanging with my little brother, my little cousins, so I took him in as one of mine. I let him meet Ab. Well, I didn't let him meet Ab. He was with me when I used to be with Ab. He just started coming on his own. When I got sick, the dialysis, this was full blown down there. I don't even know he was down there like that. So I told him, don't be down there like that. You don't know them dudes. He said, do you have any tattoos? I got a couple. What'd you mean when you said, don't be a tough rat, just humble down? He said, yeah, and be a good rat like Ace. Charles Sally, Stark Low responds, apparently, he said, don't be walking around with your face screwed up like you're tough. You're a rat. Just humble down, be humble and do your time. Don't be no tough rat like you're tough. Be like Ace Boogie. You ain't seen Paid in Full before? Say, nah. The other dude says, yeah. Or Dark Low says, yeah. It's one, yeah. I didn't get that reference. He said, Ace is in the movie, but he was a rat, but he wasn't tough. He just calm. He wasn't no tough rat. Gotcha. And where are your tattoos? I'm sorry. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, let's go down here a little bit. He said, the special agent says, the last sentence here, the South Philly boys don't play that rat shit. He said, And I don't want you to get stabbed up and start bleeding. Their names out. Who bled? That names out. He said, What does CDFU mean? Cracking the fuck up. Fuck up. We're soak in misery. He said, What do you mean bleeding names out? No, like you stab a red, you're going to start bleeding. That's you're bleeding red when you going to bleed in. Gotcha. Some of this is just, I don't know if they didn't translate it well or what the deal is, but it's hard to read some of this stuff. Charles Sally, it was just all there wasn't no threats. I don't see how that's threats. If I didn't know him, that's threats. If I didn't know him or he was just on a case, that's threats. But he was under me, so I felt as though I could say that to him. He said, yeah, I feel as though I could say shit like that to him, man. Do you see someone? He said, I definitely can. All right. But I don't see how anybody can say I threatened. It was a threat because I never threatened him. I said, I don't want you to get sniped. The Philly Bulls do not play that. They don't play that anywhere. Frankfurt, whoever, they don't play that. Somebody just got stabbed up for telling, and I still got, I'm trying to get out my heart. It's going to be hard for me to get the love out of my heart for him, but I'm telling him, be careful, bro. You got OBH on your neck. You got my name on your arm. You got Ab name on your, like, be careful, bro. That's what I'm telling him. Okay, do we really know if the no? Okay, we're going to skip down. Okay. So, yeah. So I guess you know they were going to warrant your house. He said, mm-hmm. And they got the gun. He said, uh-huh. I guess an extended clip. The mag, all that. He said, yeah. That's yours? Yeah. That's mine's, yeah. He said, okay. I just got OV. What did you have that for? Just to protect yourself? Yeah, protect myself. I always, bro, that. I don't carry it. I don't know why. It's just in my house, up in my closet. I don't do nothing with it. I don't go out with it or nothing. You just want protection? Yeah, just protection for my house. Yeah, I was kind of explaining to you, though. The only problem you're going to have is I'm a felon. You were a convicted felon, and you're not supposed to have. Like I said, I told him, I told him, it says TPO a firearm. Well, what were your charges? Because that could make a difference. Like, what felony conviction do you have? He said, was it a drug charge or was it an assault, something like that? He said, what I went upstate for was, well, it was a gun charge, but they didn't. My baby mama was mad. She said I took her gun. They never found no gun or nothing throughout the whole trial. But she said I took them on real shit. I didn't take them. And she wrote a letter apologizing, saying she lied. But they still had me upstate. What was it you were charged with? Or was it you were charged with theft then? Theft, yeah. Of the firearm? Yup. Yeah, or yeah, yup, yeah. So it could have been, did you have a prior felony before that? Yeah, I had, I think, a drug charge way back, like 0102. This happened in 05 when I got caught the theft charge. Or when I caught the theft charge. But before that, my first charge was in 01 with like drug charges. But you were found guilty or pled guilty. I pled guilty. So I was just gonna ask if you pled or so you pled guilty to a drug charge? Mm-hmm. That's definitely how. I never went to trial. Okay. And the theft charge. Did they charge you with the VUFA for a former convict? He said, no. At the time for possessing a gun, no, they didn't charge me. So it was just theft of a firearm. Mm-hmm. Stealing a firearm, yeah. But it was a misdemeanor or a felony charge, or felony at that charge. Do you remember? Honestly, man, I don't. I was so ignorant, I don't even remember. Well, that's almost 15 years ago, too. So he said, yeah. I know it might not be that. I don't even know. Easy, okay. When was the last time you were arrested? That time right there. Those are the only two you remember. Well, a while back in 01, I was catching petty drug cases, selling little packs in 01, 02. I was catching a little back-to-back cases in 04. That was like the only major case I had was that one. That theft, yeah. Okay, how much time did you do upstate? I got sentenced to 2.5 to 5. I did 3.5 and came home on parole. Where'd you go? Graterford? Yeah, no, I went, yeah, Graterford, Camp Hill, and Houtzdale. All three on the same charge. They kept moving you around. He said, no. First, I got registered in Graterford, stayed there for a month, and went to Houtzdale for like 3 months. I mean, went to Camp Hill for like 3 months, then went to Houtzdale. He said, okay. And that's where you met Taz. Taz, yeah. He was under me every day in Houtzdale. All day, every day. The special agent says, so you say you run Darien Street? He said, mm-hmm. Like hustling? You kind of took him under? He said, mm-hmm. Under your wing a little bit? Mm-hmm. All the way. What was he doing for you? Selling my packs. Special agent says, yeah. Just, was he like a caseworker for you? He said, I wasn't really no caseworker. No, he said, I wasn't really no caseworker. It was just like, you sell this, you make some money, I ain't, and then it's OV. He just wasn't working like that. I was just, got you right, just on the block. So you said you were the one that introduced him to, yeah, I didn't really. OBH and the guys in it. He said, yeah, I definitely was the one, but I didn't introduce. Like it was Taz, he was just around, and he start coming, then Ab starts seeing him. You know how it goes. Then he just start. So yeah, having their own little thing. But when I got sick, I specifically told him, don't be down there no more. Don't be down there like that. I said, okay. So he was down there like he got caught up, my man. Or he got caught up, man. So what? What do you know about like the stuff he was going to talk about in court today? He said everything. They said, unfortunately, Mr. Fireworks, I know everything about what he was talking about. I know everything. So did you tell him the truth? Depending, I don't know what I don't know what he was saying because I wasn't in. Well, they told me a little bit what he was saying. Chuckle. Listen, man, like I was telling him, Sai, I'll be for you all out there, man, for real, man. Like, I ain't like, I'll be way better for y'all out there, man. Like, but yeah, he was telling some of them lies, some of them truth. I really don't know what he was telling you. If you tell me, I could let you know though. I really don't know the whole depth of what he was saying, but I said, yeah. He said some of them was. The special agent says he testified today and said, I'm trying to get the whole thing. He said there was like 2015 to the 16, and he started coming around, being around OBH. And then Dark Low says, nah, that was a lie. He was coming around 2010. Well, he said 2010, but really he started coming around the mansion. He said, right. Yeah, he right. Because I guess he was locked up. He said, yep, okay. Then he said he had met Ab around 2010. And Dark Low says, that's right. Does that sound right? Okay. That's all the way right. So, and that I guess he meant he went to the studio once or twice, the Batcave. Yeah, I see. I don't know about that. So yeah, he says, see, in 2015, that's when I started really getting sick, yeah. Then 2016 was a rap. I was UI 2015. I was sick. I didn't go. Or he said 2015. I was sick. I didn't know what was going on. Then when I went to the hospital and got tubes in my chest, that day I cut everything off. He said, yeah. But I still kept an ear to the street. Sure, of course. So he said, I guess you told him to come around the mansion. He said, mm-hmm. And that, but he was just hanging out there. Like, you were like, yeah. He was just, yeah. It's, again, this kind of hard to read this. This conversation is definitely not easy to read. Just hanging out, smoking, playing games. He said, yeah. Then they ask him, and it was what you did. TFO says, I wasn't in. I wasn't allowed to. SA, oh, that's right. TFO, I didn't hear any testimony, so I can't really help out. So he said it was like a decent amount of time that he just kept, he said, hanging around the mansion. It's all blacked out. Then they asked him, you all right? He said, yeah, I'm straight. I know we are kind of the bad guys in a lot of this stuff, but we try to be respectful. And he said, nah, y'all doing y'all job. You got to talk to him across the street, Bill. Yeah, we're about to come over now. Okay. Y'all doing y'all job, man. Yeah. This is what I don't understand. And how y'all look, or how y'all took that as a threat, I really don't understand. Under the circumstances, like, that's like my little relative. Say that was blood, brother and I wrote that. It would have still been the same type of outcome. Potentially could have, if he was testifying against some of your best friends, yeah, that happens. He was my best friend too. It's not like I didn't know this guy. They said, right, I knew him. But if your younger brother was testifying against some of your other buddies, it happens. He said, this are his right, yes. But I'm not a threat. There's no threat to him on there in the letter, not a one. Well, unfortunately, and then it's unintelligible. I'm going to kill your baby mom. I didn't say kill, I said fuck. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying even if there's not something like that out there, he said, oh, stuff may be interpreted and construed. You know what it is. If I was to take this to trial, y'all would lose this joint, man. Then they laughed, for real. That's the end of this conversation. I just want to put it out there that Dark Low, I can see exactly why he was saying what he did. He felt like there wasn't a threat in the letter. I actually feel the same way. I think that the feds are stretching it with this and trying to make it seem like this letter was something that it wasn't. But at the same time, you don't talk to the police ever. This is the right. The first thing that they said in this interview is you have the right to remain silent. And that's exactly what you do from that point on. You let your lawyer talk to him. You let your lawyer decide what questions are going to be answered, because now Dark Low has went into this conversation with them. He's admitting certain things. He's doing way too much for the situation. This is not how you ever want to operate. Make sure if you're ever out there and you get caught in a situation like this, or any situation, period, even if you don't feel like you did anything wrong, don't talk to the police. They're not there to help you. They're there to try to get you locked up and get you convicted. And that's their only goal. They're not your friends. They don't give a fuck about what you thought or what you feel about the situation. All they care about is securing a conviction. And that's what they're going to try to do. So let this be a lesson to people out there. Don't do this. There's more interesting paperwork in this case. I will be bringing you that as well. Again, I apologize for stumbling through some of the transcript. It's hard to read as is, but I appreciate you watching. Hit the like, subscribe, share. Leave some feedback. Make sure you ring the notification bell. I appreciate you. Peace.